3, 2, 1, and we're live. This is today is Thursday, January 3rd. It's the Human Connection Community Meeting, and here with Federico, Sam, and Matt. And Robert will be joining us anytime now. I can feel his energy. Oh, there he is. Hey, Robert.
Hi.
Hello.
Perfect timing.
Late.
I just took a flight, actually.
No, we were just to warm up chats, the pre-show. It's all good.
We're talking about the having a degree versus not having a degree, and I was reminded today that Sam's a doctor, you know, so we need to be careful how we address him, you know, like it's Dr. Joe.
Sam.
Dr. Sam will work.
Isn't it Dr. Schaefer now? Is that right?
No, I'm not a doctor.
Okay.
But you have a master's.
Yes.
He's the master. It's Master Robert.
Master Robert.
There you go. That's good.
So I'm the least educated of the.
Or perhaps
well,
or the most. You are the the most educated in the school of the universe. There's no time, I mean, I think for me, the big thing about Agile Ventures is I believe in the level playing field. I think I don't like these reserved spaces, but yeah.
I mean, Dr. Joseph is always telling me that I have a superpower that other people don't have. That I can see things from a newbie's perspective, and that helps. And Hangouts with us. Is that Toby?
Yeah, it is. Hey.
Hey.
Hi, Toby. Good to see you. Or well, to hear you at least.
Yeah, at least here.
Yeah. So Toby joined us via Discord, and so you're here with all the mentors, I think. Sam, Matt, Federico, myself, and now it's you. Welcome. It's the first time you're joining us. Is it correct, or have you been with the pair programming?
He was here this morning, actually.
Nice.
So we got invited to the Zencast, Zen Kit, Zen Hub, the board.
Zen Hub, yeah. Are you able to invite more people to Zen Hub, Matt?
Yes, I invited 3 people this morning. Toby, Mike, and Wolfgang.
Yes, perfect. Yeah, I think that's important. Be able to add more people.
So I was just taking out a notepad. Oh, actually, maybe even Sam has a notepad. All right,
I do.
All right, I'll leave Sam to do it then. Sam can think and talk at the same time. So I guess should we go around and talk about what we're going to talk about? Sensibly.
Yeah.
Robert, you want to start? Because just maybe just some high level stuff, and then we can jump into specifics after everyone's had a chance to.
Sure. So we haven't met for the past 2 weeks or so, I think. I think it was before Christmas.
Yep.
And in the meantime, I was basically busy with my 2 talks at the Case Communication Congress. That was very interesting. I also took the opportunity to talk to the core developers of Diaspora. Who knows Diaspora? No?
No.
I've heard of it. Could you remind me what that is?
Sam, you know Diaspora?
Is it one of those federated social networks?
Kind of. Yes, it's a free and open source social network as well. It was based on Rails. It was initiated in a couple of years ago. It's pretty old now, 2011 maybe. It had a hype at that time. Unfortunately, one of the founders committed suicide. That was a very terrible incident. But yeah, Diaspora, the software, is still up and running. It's still being developed. I met 3 developers at a Chaos Communication Congress. And it's not implementing ActivityPub. It's along with Mastodon. It's one of the most widely adopted social networks. And it was very interesting. I talked to Dennis Schubert, who is also working for Mozilla and implementing web standards. And he was the bottom line there was we're not implementing it right now for several reasons, including ActivityPub is too, in terms of a standard, it's too weak. It's very open for everything, and that makes it kind of not very strict, and that's sometimes not what they want or what they need. And it also doesn't have signatures, and they sign every user content in order to prevent identity things. I gave 2 nice talks. I'm more happy with the second talk, honestly. And yesterday I was working on how to set up tests for the backend. So maybe this is interesting for everyone here. We want to set up tests for both the front end and the backend. We already have full stack tests. So we're using a tool called Cypress, and it's starting a browser and challenging the application. So if you want to run Cypress on your laptop, for example, you have to start the backend and the front end, and then you run Cypress. We want to have also integration tests for the backend, and we're currently struggling a little bit with it. This is it from my side.
Cool, awesome.
Can I just say that your talk was excellent, Robert?
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah. I can see why you were happy with it, because it was really good.
Yeah, you're probably referring to the talk about how to build open source communities. In the first one, I think I had too many repetitions, and it was more like a sales pitch. And the second one was good. I'm very satisfied.
Oh, okay. So that's why you did not share the first one. I was not aware of the first one.
Oh, sorry. No, I shared the second one because it's related to Agile Ventures.
Yeah.
I can share the first one. Let me.
It's in the Discord, in the chat channel.
Cool.
I can share it on there as well for Sam, for you taking notes. If you, I don't know if you want to copy the links. Federico, since you're already talking, what did you have anything you want to talk about in the meeting?
Yeah, sure. So unfortunately, we had the holidays, so didn't get really anything done related to human connection. I know I have the translations to do for Spanish, and I've already committed to getting that up to 100%. Actually, 120%, in order to force you guys to do some more translations. And so I'll be working on that during this upcoming sprint. Are we doing 2-week sprints, or?
I think it's 3. From what I remember from the last meeting we had, it was like 3-week sprint.
So maybe I still have time to do that before the end of the sprint.
Robert, you're
we're doing 2-week sprints.
Is it 2 weeks?
Okay.
Well, we did the first one was longer because it was our first, and we'll try to get a routine. And I think the next one is going to be 2 weeks.
Okay. So I will certainly have the translations done by the end of the next sprint, or the one that I guess is starting today. That is a 100% guaranteed commitment to happen. And I think other than that, just today during the pairing session, I added 2 tickets here. One specifically that Toby was interested in, adding documentation. And the other one was for being a little more clear about, about how to clone the repo, whether to fork it, to clone it directly. Specifically, like we had Wolfgang who joined us, who it would have just helped if the exact command was there. Git clone, and then maybe HTTPS instead of SSH. And then maybe just like a screenshot of like how to fork if we do tell people to fork. But the side effect of not having that, was that Mike gave a really excellent explanation of the difference between forking and cloning directly. And so, yeah, I talked about in the Martin Fowler Scrum that we should take a snippet of that and like use that for, I don't know, just to have a video somewhere, maybe in Agile Ventures or Human Connection, the website of an explanation. Yeah, with Mike's consent, of course, if he's okay with it. But yeah, that's it for me.
Cool, awesome. Toby?
Maybe I interrupt you. Human Connection has also its own audience. So everything that you produce, for example, a video or a blog or anything that can be published, please talk to our public relation people, because they can spread it into the entire community. This is very important. It's important because, let me explain that. Why is it important? We are in the technology transition, and the code base of the old application out there is not being maintained, not being really actively maintained. And users are getting a little bit, let's say, annoyed that there's nothing happening. So if they can see at least there's some things happening in the community, in the developer community, including this video. Are you recording? Then this is at least something.
Yeah, understood.
Toby? Anything you want to talk about in the meeting?
Sorry, once again, what was it?
Anything you'd like to talk about in the meeting?
Yeah, like Federico just said, he already opened the issue. That was the thing I want to have a look at, the Nitro documentation. Yeah, just explain a little bit how to set the thing up with Docker, because it was pretty straightforward for me.
Also, Sam, you're taking notes. Where do you put the notes after the meeting?
Well, that depends on the project. I can easily put them in the Slack channel, also in the Discord. We have been, with these sorts of notes for our scrums in Agile Ventures, been putting them in the wikis on the GitHub repos, so they can go wherever you need them to go.
It's new to me, so I'm not quite sure what's the best way to go, but I definitely want to show that to the rest of the core team. Mm-hmm. I don't care how. If you have suggestions, for example, please use the wiki, or please use the Discord, or I don't know, maybe you use both. I have no idea. Yep. Let's do that. You can set up a wiki, of course, no problem. You can also create a new text channel in the Discord, or yeah, I don't know, maybe you have more or better ideas.
Yeah, well, we can experiment and see what works, and then change and evolve. So, yep.
Joseph?
Yeah.
Anything you'd like to talk about in the meeting?
Currently, no, because I don't have a task that I'm working on my the moment. Yep.
I mean, that's actually good. It would be nice if we could use these meetings as well to set up pairing sessions. I would be a fan of that. I like pairing sessions. We have like Tuesdays and Thursdays mornings at 11:30 CET, UT, 10:30 UTC. So, and I'm going to be putting up a poll on the Discord channel for other times that work for other developers who want to meet to pair. So, but yeah, like.
Cool.
Is that it, Joseph, or do you have any?
What?
Is that it, or anything else for the meeting?
Yeah, that's it. I'm looking forward to picking a task and working on it.
By the way, Joseph and Matt, I continued on your branch, and I want to say thank you, because the work you put into it before Christmas really helped me to advance more quickly. So I could really continue on the basis that you created there. So thank you for that. I also told that, by the way, to the core team, that Azure Ventures appears to be very productive from the start on. So thanks for that.
Yeah. Sam.
Yes. So, yeah, very pleased to join the first meeting. I am set up with the code system. I've got like a little bit to do. I think there's another round of stuff that I need to do with like to actually creating accounts, on my local machine to like make it all work. I guess I have one immediate question that was generated. You mentioned the marketing team, Roberts. If we do want to contact them, is there an email, a Discord channel, a Twitter handle? What's the best way to contact them?
Yeah, GDPR comes into our way. So the only reason why the core team is not on Discord is Discord sends all the messages in clear text to servers in the US.
Yes.
And there's no way of having these so-called AV contracts. And that's the reason why only private people, let's say, are on Discord. So actually, I think it would be wise if we could invite you to our Zoom chat. They have a contract with Zoom regarding data privacy and so on. And that's the reason why they use it for video conferencing and both for chatting in the team itself. And I don't want to be the man in the middle for this kind of communication. So my suggestion is I'm going to write into this Zoom channel right now and bring that up.
That sounds great. Just a point of clarification there. So you mentioned the core team, and I was talking about the marketing team. So the marketing team is then part of the core team.
All right. So let me introduce the team, the core team, the team that is. I'm referring to the core team to every person that is hired in any way by the corporation of Human Connection. So Human Connection is the social network, but there's also a company, a non-profit company. We call it G GmbH, Gemeinnützige GmbH, non-profit company, or non-profit limited or something. And they are about 9 people right now who are directly hired by the company in one way or another. So there are 2 core developers. That's Greg and myself. And there is Yassi and Hadi, who are responsible for everything related to marketing and so on. There is Martin, which is the head of IT, and he was the former data privacy guy. And there is Victor, who is doing accounting. And there is Zenzi. Zenzi is also, sorry, Zenzi, I forgot Zenzi. See, she's in the marketing too. So 9 people. I hope I didn't forget anybody.
You mentioned 7 so far.
Oh, Nicholas. He is the community. He's a community manager, so he is responsible for reviewing content in the network. That's also very important. We have a lot of questionable content sometimes in the network, and he's also like someone who can. Who reflects the current opinion in the community, because I mean they are our donators in the end, and we have to make them happy in one way or another. So I want to connect you to Hadi, Yassi, and Zenzi.
Right,
these 3 people.
Great.
That is
a very helpful overview. Thank you so much.
I will post names into this channel because there are some typos.
I gather. Yeah, cool. And that's great. I'll update the notes. Cool. So and then
a small question before you
go on,
continue.
Yes.
So are you going to work on the ticket, or the ticket that you said you continued on? Are you going to finish that, Robert, or?
I'm currently blocked, because the last thing that I would say is missing is to set up multiple databases. So the test setup is working fine. However, it's deleting your database. And that's a little bit unfortunate, right? So you develop and you have some data and you run the tests and the data is gone. I don't know if that's a problem that's really blocking us from clicking the merge button, but it's almost done. So I would say yes, I'm continuing and finishing off that ticket. Yes.
It's also failing the build as well.
Oh yeah, and the build server is failing for reasons I don't understand.
Yeah, it's not connecting, it seems like, but yeah. Oh no, actually it is connecting, and I just updated the ticket with the latest failure. It's like not closing the connection properly, and so it just hangs after it runs the test, and then after 10 minutes it just like errors out.
Just to clarify, that's the one that Joseph and Matt had started on, and then Robert, you continued, and Joseph was asking if you're going to finish that one, and you were describing there a block that you got most of it done, and there's sort of there's a tail end sort of block there for you, Robert. Is that correct?
Yes, I would say there is a block because I don't want really to merge it before we have some setup that's separating test and development environment. Although if that's too complicated, I might just add some notes in the README, and then it's like that.
Interesting.
I mean, not that this clarification is important, but actually it was Joseph and Robert who started it, and then I jumped in and was just trying to learn about using the playground, and then Robert continued it.
Yeah, I think it was a great collaboration. We all learned something from each other. So Joseph, for example, he brought up this test framework, how to test the Express service, which I found quite handy.
Great. Yeah, well, and then I have actually one I hadn't written down, but my one final question was that maybe clear to everybody else. I don't know. It's like the process for assigning kind of tickets and so on, like the high level board. Obviously, I guess there are issues. Like we've got all the repos, right? And there are issues in the repo, and there's a front end and the back end. Is the process of people getting involved? They just pull tickets off the issues here. What's the? Can someone give me just sort of an overview of like what the workflow is like at the moment?
Sure. So we decided to use ZenHub for just one reason: estimating times. So GitHub doesn't provide a way of adding quantifiable estimated hours. That's some feature that ZenHub is providing, and that's the only reason why we're using ZenHub. Basically, you can have everything else in GitHub, and that would be preferable, especially for people who join us from GitHub and they don't know all the tools, but they probably know GitHub.
Yep.
Okay, so less context switches.
Yes. But
we decided, okay, GitHub doesn't provide that feature. It's quite important for us. It's highly demanded from our controlling. And let's use ZenHub to have these reports, burn down charts, evaluating our scrums. That's the goal, why we use ZenHub.
Yeah.
So I would therefore suggest, if you are in this team, and we all know about ZenHub already, and we had this kind of introduction, then use it. And you can merge all issues from different repositories in one board. And that's what you see here. Yes, Human Connection Nitro. That's it. So these issues are from 4 different repos. You can see the number of repos in the top left. And you can select to see all issues from all repositories. I would recommend that. Now, you can assign people there. If you want to assign anybody, I would use ZenHub, but I think that ZenHub synchronizes the assigned person with GitHub. So what you do in ZenHub should be reflected on GitHub also.
Yeah, I used to use ZenHub back in the day. We switched to Waffle at one point and didn't really look back, but it looks like ZenHub has like when I used to use ZenHub, it was like a layer, like you had to use like a Chrome plugin to use it, but this looks much more like the model that Waffle is now using. Right.
Yes, so I was using also the browser plugin, and I'm not using it for the reason of seeing something else. So if you send a link to someone to your GitHub profile, you're going to see something else instead of what the other person is seeing.
That's good. Yes.
So I'm suggesting to use a different website this website, and
that's exactly why
same.
we got ZenHub back in the day. Yeah, this makes perfect sense. So yeah, so this is then the keyboard, right? That's being used to manage all of the work.
Yeah, but keep in mind that not everyone knows ZenHub. So Sam, you didn't know ZenHub until now. Well, you didn't know that then ZenHub now works like that. So if you have someone who is not having this past experience that we have in our weekly meetings, if, for example, someone joins in, let's say Tobias has joined us today, he doesn't know all about that. So keep in mind that you also have to maintain the issues on GitHub. I would...
are these issues here, are they not exactly the issues on GitHub? Like...
let me clarify this. The issues are the same. It's all there synchronized, but we also have...
If we make an edit in the issue on GitHub, it will be immediately reflected in here and vice versa.
Yes. So there's one thing I want to bring up. If you add the label good first issue, and it's one of these 4 repositories, I think, this will end up in a GitHub project. This GitHub project is a Kanban board. And this Kanban board is linked with Up4Grabs. Who's currently sharing the screen?
Me.
Sam, could you please go to Up4Grabs and search for human connection?
Yeah, we have exactly the same setup for the waffle boards and Up4Grabs for our projects at the moment.
Can you link from Up4Grabs to Waffle directly?
We, as far as I know it, like if we put an Up4Grabs label on an issue, it will appear in here. So you can find like website 1 and stuff in here. But I think if you click through from here to this, you'll kind of end up going into GitHub. You won't go into Waffle.
Yes, and we have the same setup. That's what I want to highlight. Also, I sometimes have a look to our GitHub project. So if you search for human connection,
I just showed the link. If you click on it, it'll go directly to the Nitro Up4Grabs.
So exactly.
Okay.
So that's the project.
So some people are seeing the GitHub project as opposed to the like the ZenHub one. Yeah. Interesting.
Yes, so that's what I meant. And also,
there's
also
the
URL. There are some filter parameters, and you filter for issues that are good first issues. So keep in mind that if you add an issue anywhere and you label it good first issue, that will be probably one of the first issues that someone from the outside world will see. And also think that the issues that are at the top will be the ones that people will see first. And they should be.
Are they being organized by priority? So like the items that are higher up in this list.
Yes, and I think that is not reflected. I don't know exactly, but I think if you sort the issues in ZenHub, this ordering is this is an ordering of tickets from different repositories. And I don't think that this order is maintained on GitHub. So I think if you order anything on ZenHub, this will not be reflected in this project here.
Right.
Just keep that in mind.
Good to know.
Now I'm going to text Hadiasi and Sandy.
Projects. Interesting. So I was partly asking that question because I wanted to know, but also Joseph was talking about looking for a task. So interesting. So we've got at the moment then, like these issues are like the ones that are higher up in the list are the higher priority ones.
There's that issue that I was talking to you, Sam, that Robert brought up to my attention earlier this morning, about like that Greg started working on that. We should write user stories for and test it in Cypress and finish off, like coordinate with him to help finish off the ticket. So,
and that's a high priority one.
I think, I don't know if, I'm not sure if it's because it's high priority or the same thing, kind of like that when there's in progress tickets, it's nice to to get those worked on first. You know?
Yeah, very good idea to get tickets completed rather than starting new ones. Yeah, so I'm seeing that one there for that's locations and about me, and that's in the that's yeah. So that's in the in progress column. And so is that? Would you concur with that, Robert? That generally people should, I guess at least if they're confident, they should try and start helping out with in progress things as opposed to taking new ones off the new issues or backlog. Is there like some process at the moment for kind of like voting on or just like getting work started on something approved, or you're like, is it just like people grab a ticket, get involved? It's all good.
There's no best practice from my side. I was hoping that maybe you have some best practices here. I would say, from my gut feeling or from intuition, I would say new people should get in touch with other developers who have been working for a couple of weeks or months already. As early as connect people. Try to get them in a meeting, try to get them in a pair programming as soon as possible. So based on that intuition, I would say new people should try to work together on existing issues together with other developers. Does it make sense?
Yep, that makes really sense.
What do you say about that? I mean, it's something that I created in my mind in this second. I don't know if that makes if that's reasonable or not.
I think it's definitely reasonable to suggest to sort of guide people in that way. I mean, what our experience in Adventurers is that there's some people who will really not do anything unless they're doing it with other people. There's other people who, like with existing developers, there's other people who kind of almost insist on working by themselves, and sometimes they do really good work by themselves. So I think it's very reasonable to sort of push people in that direction for to avoid people like struggling on really sticky, spiky stuff that they needn't otherwise. I guess, do you have an existing like contribution? I was just looking here, like this is our top level human connection thing there, and there's front end API and so on. Is there some contributing.md that is like the kind of top, like the things that we've just been discussing here about, okay, we're using ZenHub, be aware that there are these sort of caveats and these things. Is there a good, sensible, is already an existing place where we would put the kind of instructions about how to get involved and start contributing?
That's a good question. I don't think we have something like that. So I would say, let's do it. Let's create one.
Yeah.
If you want to create one, I would say exactly go there. So we have a repository, which is also called Human Connection. We have our organization Human Connection. And the repository Human Connection, which is like a meta repository, you could say. And it would make sense to place everything that is not tied to the backend or frontend or anything, which relates to all the repositories, to place it there. I think we had the same problem with our code of conduct. You might want to check if we have a code of conduct in each repository, or if we have a code of conduct in just one, and that would be this one.
Yeah, there's not a code of conduct in the high-level one. If we look at the front end, it looks like we don't have.
Okay, that definitely needs to be fixed.
Yeah,
that absolutely needs to be fixed. I think it's an easy fix. It's a easy way to contribute. We have a code of conduct. Could you check out the web app repository, the legacy web app repository?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, this one. That one has code of conduct. Yeah, here. So yeah, that code of conduct should go into the main human connection top level.
Yeah. So here's a nice task for you. Research if there's a way of expressing that we have a central code of conduct that should should apply to each sub-repository.
Right.
If that's not possible, we just copy paste this code of conduct into each sub-repository.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. So org-wide COC into all subgroups. Great.
So you were talking about someone checking up the in-progress tickets, and how, like, I don't know how that works. Do you go asking the people who are working on the ticket if they are still working on it, or how do you know it's up for grabs?
And so you're asking, how do you know who is currently working on an issue?
Yeah, if there's someone working on it, or do you just, because you say it on progress, you can take the tickets.
I would say, if you're working on a ticket, try to put it into in progress, assign yourself, and maybe command it. But since I know that this is something that probably doesn't work because people forget it, always ask, write in a comment, is this? I mean, that's what most people do if they join, for example, via Up for Grabs. They go to the GitHub page and they write a comment into the issue. Hey, is this still active? Is this still needed or required? Can I try it? So I would say, if you start to work on a ticket, always write in the comments that you have created pull requests. That's gonna solve it.
Yeah, I know that. I wasn't asking about that. I was asking about the current tickets that are in progress.
Yes. Okay. Good question. So we can actually test if everything that I said, if I'm doing it correctly. Probably not. So Sam can, after he did the notes, he can double check if it's actually true, or if I forgot to do it, to put the ticket number 49 into the in progress lane, and I bet I forgot it.
Like, I don't know if what I was planning on doing with like that ticket that I was thinking of working on that Robert suggested is just reaching out to Greg on Discord and seeing if if he's available for a pairing, or saying that we were thinking of working on it, and specifically what we were thinking about doing, like writing user stories, and to see if that would be helpful for him, or maybe he's already done it and he hasn't pushed it up yet, and just kind of gauging his response. I mean, I think like if he says, no, actually I don't need help, thanks, then okay, then maybe look in the backlog or in the new issues or something, and not worry too much about it, but just like, if it's in progress, maybe just checking with the person. But not everyone feels comfortable doing that as well, like so I think, like, specifically, like Robert's saying, for new people, like, if they prefer picking up like an issue from the beginning, then then just kind of steering them in the direction of something that would be appropriate for them, maybe. And Robert, to clarify, you're a fan of work in progress PRs?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cool. I think most people are, right?
There's a reason why he's bringing that up. There's a big reason why he's bringing that up, because there's specifically one person who's not.
Different projects are allowed to be different. I think that's the important
I was just wondering if you could, like, we don't have a lot of time, but if you, in like, 10 to 15 minutes, if you could explain why you think work in progress PRs are such a.
I guess, much as I'd love to hear that, I was going to maybe. It felt like there might have been a little talking across purposes. I think Joseph's original question was specifically about, like, for him, and Joseph's quite confident, I think, but it was about, for him, if he's looking down, the in progress items, what's the best way to reach out? And I think maybe actually with the different answers, I'm sure Joseph can put it all together. But for maybe to sort of clarify what we were saying, I think people who feel confident should feel free to reach out to any of the individuals working on these tickets, right? So we were just talking about this one. Let's say that I wasn't involved in this meeting, but I could easily come down and like, App Interactive is the person here, and so I could, like, I could be asking to get involved in that ticket. If I can identify this person in Discord or Slack, I could be asking them there, or whatever method that you feel comfortable to reach out with is okay, right? If you want to get involved in progress ticket, is that a reasonable summary?
Yeah.
And Joseph, does that make sense? I mean, maybe you got that sense already.
Yeah.
All right. So I've been sort of starting to put some notes together, and we'll kind of get. It'll take several cycles, but we'll get information like that into the contributing.md to, you know, and we can refine it over time. And I think as to acknowledge what Matt was saying, and we've seen this a lot in Agile Ventures, is sometimes with new people that they, you know, a gentle shepherding towards a ticket of the right complexity level for what we know about their background and so on is a good way to go. So for the confident people, be confident. I think it's usually all good. I sense we might be running out of time.
I didn't have a chance to go, Sam.
Did you not? My apologies, Matt. You thinking that you have? Well, then I think that we should. I was going to say, what other things are there? There's Matt stuff. No.
I mean, I talk so much that, you know, like you might have felt like I had gone, but no. I just really quickly, I wanted to, a couple of things. I wanted Rob, what I understood, just to clarify with you, like, not only would you like a post in the like alpha human connection for the community meetings, but really any pairing sessions that we're recording, just make a post and put it there, and like people will appreciate having more videos to see what we're doing.
Yeah, I don't know if every pairing session requires a post in the current alpha. However, I think there are people certainly who are interested in it, and we should have somewhere a list of everything we did, like a proof. Because just to give you an example, when I was in Leipzig, there was a blog post from someone criticizing that not all of our code is published. The progress is doesn't reflect the number of donations that we have. Also, there are some security issues who are not being closed, and I was responding to that by saying, yes, of course, every code is published. Oh yeah, one more criticism. So he also said that you have to try out, you have to donate in order to try out the app. So there are some rumors, right? And for example, our code is 100% published on GitHub. It is not necessary to donate in order to try out the app. There's, for example, the staging environment. It is you can set it up on your local machine. So if people would in the future complain about that nobody is working on the code, that's not true. Proof, right? Here's the list. And also, just to show some progress, that would be awesome for the community. It's very, very necessary. People were very thankful for my reply because they said, "Oh, okay, thank you for this clarification." Also from the core team itself, the developers themselves, right? It's great to have a direct contact with them. So that's why I'm trying to bring you into contact with our marketing.
Yeah, and you talking about the marketing, you had mentioned before about adding the videos, the community videos, and or the pairing sessions to a playlist that
yes,
one of them is gonna set me up with, or has set me up with. I think yes,
I think there's a link. If you're if you have this link, you can add new videos to that playlist. However, Hadi recently published some of my so-called tech news. So I'm also running a video blog, which is called Tech News. And it seems that if you add a video to a playlist, that doesn't create a notification to our 3,000 or so followers on YouTube. And therefore, maybe it would make sense to let Human Connection, the account Human Connection with all these followers, repost this video. You have to talk to Hadi about the details.
Okay.
But in general, just think that if you do something, there might be this purpose and this purpose and this purpose where you can benefit from. If you do one thing, it's not only the code that you do, it's also the the pairing itself that you do. It's the person you're interacting with who's learning something, and you make him or her happy. Right? So there are so many reasons, so many ways of being great, of being nice. And you should, how do you say in English?
Share the love.
Can you say exploit all of them? Is that correct English? Or is it what I want to say?
Yeah. Although the word exploit has the overtone that you're perhaps doing something a little, like underhand. Like exploit.
It has negative connotation.
Yeah, if you exploit the workers, you're getting like you're not paying them enough and so on. But
take advantage of, I think, is take advantage of all the ways that you can
take advantage. Yes.
Or even make the most of. You want to make the most of it. You want to get the maximum value out of all of these things.
Yes, get the maximum value out of it.
Sometimes I've been taken advantage of. Matt, yes, apologies, Matt. Did you have anything else?
There was something else, but I can't remember at the moment. So I think that's it. Yeah, just hoping to have lots more pairing sessions and do some coding.
Could I just
go on,
share a final? Yeah, just on that other subject, could I just share sort of the numbers here when we do share? I think this is due to just sharing on Discord. The numbers of the meetings go up. The views for like these meetings, 57 views. 40 views, well, like the parent sessions only got a few views. And I think, I could be wrong, but I think that's just a reflection of them being posted here, or it might also be that they're posted by the marketing team. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, I've been posting recently. I've been posting it on the actual alpha version of Human Connection as well. So yeah, one or the other, but I think it's definitely due to.
Yeah, well, I think so clearly we should share these things as widely as possible, as Robert is suggesting to us.
Yeah,
thanks, Federico. That's great backup numbers to have there. I'll just mention one other thing I think we were discussing earlier on today, maybe before we wrap up, was just so we're very excited now that we've got done and dusted. We've got the new Agile Ventures Human Connection sort of community support framework in place, and so yeah, the Agile Ventures is now committed, to providing like 10 hours a week of coding and/or community support, and so like I'll definitely be at these meetings and doing my best to sort of support Human Connection, and Matt's going to be taking the lead on doing these additional pairing sessions and so on. There was just, I think for some people, maybe a question mark over like, what the nature of the Human Connection Agile Ventures deal was and what exactly we were committing. And we kind of went through that in some earlier meetings and we made sort of clarification. We just wanted to check that, from your point, Robert, that our commitment was clear, in as much as, so it's Matt and myself are the only people who are sort of contracted by like Agile Ventures to provide service on that. Other people in Agile Ventures may all get involved to varying degrees of their own personal preference. We've also got both Joseph and Federico are AV mentors which you've been involved in before, Robert, and that means that one of their obligations is to help out with premium members who are doing pull requests and so on. But there's nothing particular that says to Joseph and Federico or other AV mentors that they should get involved in with the Human Connection project as opposed to any other human AV project, if that makes sense. Does that all make sense? Is that what clarity that Robert, the nature of that AV-HC connection was clear?
So the connection was breaking up in the last few sentences, but I think I got the essence. So the question is, can we ask any AV mentor to do the contracted hours?
And the answer is the people who are explicitly responsible for the contracted hours at the moment are myself and Matt.
Yeah.
And Joseph and Federico are very welcome to get involved, and I know they love the tech stack and so on. I mean, if we were to kind of get like but that contract does not cover any hours of their time at this stage. I mean, if that's that's something, if you were particularly keen to get more of their hours and pay for it under the AV umbrella, that's something we could look at. But were you under the impression that any AV mentor could fulfill those hours?
Yes. So I am under the impression that every AV mentor can fill these hours, since we are not contracted, as far as I am concerned, we are not contracted to any particular AV mentor, but we are contracted to AV itself, the organization.
Right.
So that's why I think, I have the belief that it is not, like any AV mentor can do it. So I don't, but I have to admit that I have never seen the contract itself. I have seen the email conversation, like when I try to connect you with our managers, but I have not seen, I think, the actual contract and what's written there. But I think it only says AV is responsible to provide 10 hours per week of coding or support.
Absolutely, it is very much Agile Ventures that's on the hook, but the mentors within Agile Venture are not contracted to provide like coding. Like that's the mentors are like the mentors are, and those are the outreach mentors, as Robert, like you are one. You saw the contract for the outreach mentor, right? You remember?
Can you repeat the last sentence?
You saw the contract or the deal for the outreach mentor, that the mentors in AV who are compensated, they're compensated for putting time into like supporting the premium members. They're not compensated, like they're not like paid to do programming, right? So
I think that was a question on the side of our managers. What does community support actually means? What does development actually means?
Yes.
And I think we agreed that we don't make a difference here.
Oh no, absolutely. No,
I think you can also work and program, and that will be part of your contract, as far as I am concerned.
Yeah, and me too, absolutely. Like, but again, the what it comes down to, I'm glad. Thank you, Federico, for bringing this up before, because it had seemed like we had clarity on this, but not. Is that we've got these different levels of, we've got contractors and we've got mentors in AV. And so, like, when one makes a contract with AV, then it's only people who are in the contracted list who will be directly compensated for that. And so the mentors, they do get some small compensation, as you're aware, because you received it yourself. But that's specifically for supporting, premium members.
Right. So, are there any contractors in our contract then? Explicit contractors?
Well, the contractors are the explicit contractors for AV. So currently in AV,
that is just Sam and you and Matt.
That's right. So what that means is, at least for the time being, I mean, in the future, potentially all sorts of other people might be contracted and paid for all sorts of stuff. But at the moment, AV, like the only people who are in this kind of like contractor pot who are receiving money to do kind of like work for hire, so to speak, is Sam and Matt. And yes. So if there's an AV mentor, they're kind of contracted separately with an AV to support premium members, right? And if that premium member happens to be working on Human Connection or whatever, they will give them support. But by contracting like AV at the top level, that doesn't place any obligation on the mentors to support that particular project. Do you know what I mean?
Actually, no, I don't. I don't understand the way how OV works in that way. So sorry for that.
Ah, interesting.
I mean, I think
I'm just confused.
I think it's like there's lots of volunteers as well in Agile Ventures, which may or may not get involved with Human Connection. Hopefully, everyone that comes across will like to get involved in Human Connection and will get involved, but they're not being contracted to get involved. Like, I'm going to do my best to try to pair with people on Human Connection that are in Agile Ventures. But if people are like, no, I don't want to pair with you, then there's nothing I can do to force them to pair with me. They get involved on a volunteer basis, which means that when maybe 1 week they won't be involved, maybe a month they won't be involved, maybe a year they won't be involved because they're working on other AV projects or they're working on other open source projects. But when they want to work on Human Connection, I'll be there to work with them on Human Connection, which is, I think, different than what the position that Sam and I are in, which is we're saying like we're guaranteeing that a certain portion of our week we're going to be dedicated to working on Human Connection. I think that's just that's what I understand the clarification he's trying to make.
I am in total agreement with what Matt was saying. Does that make it any clearer, Robert?
I don't see the problem, honestly.
I don't think there is a problem. I think
Okay.
it's just I don't think there is a problem. It's just that, like, I think just to clarify, because that you weren't thinking that that, for example, Federico's here under any obligation. He's here because he's volunteering to be here, and that he's interested in working on Human Connection. But if he gets busy next week, maybe he won't be here.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I mean, there's no problem with this. I think that the thing that came up in our like earlier AV Mentor discussion is that there was a concern that maybe that you thought, yeah, that like people who are in this mentors category here, which is like, for example, includes Joseph and Federico, that they might be under, as a result of this contract, they might be under some obligation.
I think I get it now. Yeah, don't worry about it. So when I introduced AV to the team, I said AV is a great thing, right? Online learning community, we can maximize what we do. We're doing open source, and we're trying to onboard more people and get more volunteers, and they can benefit from us because we have people with let's say a higher education or whatever, or experience and skill and whatever, and we can mentor them, and they can learn something, and they're free to go. They can contribute as much as they want, and the next day they can go. They are volunteers. There's no commitment. We cannot do anything, and it's great. For example, in RFM, I always say, don't feel bad about anything that you don't do. Feel great about anything that you do, right? And I know that Joseph and Federico and who else, and for example, Toby, he's also just a volunteer here, and they're here because they want to be here. And tomorrow they can be gone, and I have to deal with it. And I think we are very aware of the fact. And the only two people who are, let's say, responsible are the two core developers, that is Greg and I. And that's the reason why we also, well, I'm the only core developer who is really an employee. Greg is hired on as a self-employed person, so he's sending invoices all the time. It has, the reasoning is insurances.
Sure.
So I think the whole team is very aware of that, and I'm super thankful for Joseph, Federico, and everyone who's here, that they take the time and be here. It's amazing. It's absolutely awesome. That's all I have to say.
I mean, right back at you, Robert, because I mean, you put in a lot of time and effort to helping people learn, and so I mean, I think that's partially a reflection of you as well.
Yeah. If you have seen the second lightning talk, my last slide was spread the love. Eventually, it will all come back to you. So we're all in this together, right? And I'm super thankful for everyone here. And don't think to you volunteers now. Don't think that there's any commitment and that I will feel bad about you if you have no time or whatever. For example, Gerard, I chatted with him on Discord. He said that he's one of the volunteers who's not from AV. He's working in Canada, and he's has a main job at Pivotal. He's also have a family, and he is contributing to HC, just like that. And I think he found us via Up for Grabs, and I'm so thankful for him. Really, I'm trying my best to give anything back to him, like sharing knowledge or whatever. I asked him, "Do we want to pair with me on the test setup, so we can both benefit from each other, right?" And I said, no, I'm in a different time zone. I can only work at night, and that will be way too late for you. And it's okay, right? So, well, anyways, I'm super thankful that he's there, right? And if he wouldn't be there tomorrow, that would be okay. He helped us in the past, and we will be ever grateful for him. Maybe you should have some like a credit in our source code for all the contributors, for all the past contributors. Just to say a big thank you to everyone who was involved in the past.
I do want to say...
Oh, go on, Federico.
Robert, just quickly on that note, that especially for our volunteers, just saying it, making that expression of thanks goes a long way, especially when they've dedicated, hours. And just saying something simple like that, something that, I strive to do, I know Matt and Sam do. and Robert, definitely does. And so the more we remind ourselves to do that, to be thankful to the volunteers, especially, which is really the life source of our community, we should strive to do that. You were going to say,
Yeah.
Sam?
I was totally agree. I mean, the Harrow Community Network was the first project that we did. We built into the site itself so that all of the contributors, could be recognized via their GitHub profiles and so on. And so I think that's a nice,
I'm super unhappy to interrupt you at this very state, but it's 5:15, and I have an appointment on 5:30 and have to leave this place. So I'm going to be off. You can continue with this meeting, and I will look the rest of it if you post the video. Is it okay?
Yeah, definitely. I was just going to say we'll have to wrap up as well because we have a Math Plus meeting in 1 minute. So
yeah,
but thank you, Robert, for your time again, and see you. I don't know, tomorrow maybe.
Yes.
I might ping you for a pairing session as well.
Okay. It was a pleasure. See you all next week at the latest. Bye.
Thanks.
Great.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining us, Toby.
Yeah. Any last thoughts, Toby, Joseph, Federico, Sam?
No.
Actually, I got one. One regarding to the discussion about forking or cloning.
Oh yeah.
And when I go with the approach to fork,
I guess. Sorry, go ahead.
How do I get the new status from the origin repository?
Yep.
So that my code base is on.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the things that we want to actually add in the contributing.md. So if you don't mind, I can write a response on Discord and we can work on getting that clarified so that people can look at it and kind of have the answer without needing to reach out to someone.
Yeah, sure thing.
I mean, it's not complicated. I could tell you the command, right? But if I write it down, then you'll have it visually, and you can copy and paste it, or you can, and then like I said, hopefully, next week or the week after, we'll have an actual contributing README that people can reference to in the future if they forget the command and stuff.
Yeah, that would be a good thing. Yeah, definitely.
Cool, awesome.
All right.
Anything else, guys? Joseph, you happy? I don't know if you chose a ticket to work on.
Yeah, I'm looking at the tickets. I don't know if I'll work on the front end or back end.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I mean, there is that. I guess I don't know if Robert's going to work on it, but he kind of, if you jump in and start working on it, he doesn't mind. There's that thing about trying to figure out why it's failing the build, not closing the connection properly. And also about the databases. I had a look around and I didn't find anything really. I mean, I found a couple of Stack Overflow posts, but other plugins that you can use that Robert said he's not really keen to add a plugin for it. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, no.
Okay. Yeah, I don't understand what's the problem, because what I know is or you can't have two database set up for Neo4j, or what's the problem? Because what I know is that you have a configuration file. If you're doing testing, you change the URL of the database to one for testing or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know how Neo4j works. Oh.
I mean, he was saying that basically it's to do with that different OSs require different install instructions for Neo4j and stuff, and so there was some difficulty in having multiple instances of the database, but I'm not really sure. I mean, with Rails, it's like something really trivial, you know, and like Postgres, I guess with Phoenix as well. I would imagine since it uses Postgres, but I guess with Neo4j, it's not as straightforward like that. I mean, I can show you the stuff that I found. I think I posted some of it in the actual pull request, but like I don't know. For me, I was trying to focus a little bit more on trying to get it to pass the build, because then if it's passing the build, like Robert said, that it was kind of ready to be merged in, if, you know, after having like answered that question about the databases and whether we should just add a note to the README. So, but we can't merge it in until it's passing the build. So like, it seems like it would be like, there's a couple things, a couple ways that I read that we might be able to get it to close the connection properly. I haven't tried either one of them yet, because I was kind of put it there and waiting to see if someone, maybe you could have a look and give me an opinion, since you're more familiar with Jest or Federico. But yeah.
The connection is for like Neo4j, not closing, or?
Yeah, I mean, it's saying that Jest did not exit 1 second after the test run has completed. And then if you do a Google search for then it says this usually means that there are asynchronous operations that weren't stopped in your test. So consider running Jest with detect open handles to troubleshoot this issue. So then I read an issue on Jest that suggests using the tag force exit. So maybe just like changing the package JSON to have the Travis. Yeah. Well, package JSON.
Okay.
And then someone else suggested adding the done to end the async requests, like you and I have done before.
Yeah.
But
that only happens in Travis CI.
Yes, correct.
Locally.
And I didn't find anything. I didn't find anything specific to Neo4j or to Travis. Just that people were dealing with that issue with Jest, and some of the ways they got past it. I mean, maybe the force exit would work. I'm not sure.
I'll look into it and then I'll see.
Yeah, and I guess like I was planning on working on that issue that Greg started that I was talking about with doing some end-to-end tests with Cypress. If you're interested in doing any Cypress testing, like we could work on that together.
Yeah.
Federico, anything else? Federico's muted.
Sorry, I was muted and a little distracted. Sorry about that. Nothing else from me.
Were you doing a PR review?
No. Yes, let's just say that. That's exactly what I was doing. Maybe not.
I mean, I'm feeling like today might be a day that I don't work on a React front end. It's starting to scare me. But yeah. Anyways.
Very scary. That's good. That's good. Take a break. Do some Vue.
Yeah, do Vue.js stuff. Yeah. Go there and find a ticket on Nitro Web. I mean, there are quite a few of beginner issues, Joseph, as well. I don't know. I know you prefer more challenges and stuff, but I was having a look at the projects in the GitHub projects in like the up for grabs. Like, I mean, I think it's probably better to work on good first issues, even if they're not so much of a challenge, than to not work on anything. So, you know, I was thinking of maybe trying to, because, you know, especially like for me, you're obviously a lot better at JavaScript than I am, but for me, like, you know, working on good first issues is a way to get to know the code base a little bit better, so that, you know, and there's like, it's kind of broken out really. What's his name? Name in Datin Bray, not Greg, Martin. He broke them up into lots of like small issues that like we already have the implementation in like the alpha version of Human Connection. So like the follow button, for example, and he has like user stories here. So you know, you could write like a Cypress test and get it to fail, and then like use it to implement like a follow button. So I don't know. I was thinking about maybe the next pairing session, maybe just grabbing one of those, and I don't know. Anyways.
Joseph,
Yeah.
your
Sorry,
thoughts?
I was distracted even for a minute. There's
Yeah. You guys are both doing code reviews, huh?
no.
Yeah.
It's like, so what do you say? Very quick.
I was just saying. Also, I was saying that on this Nitro up for grabs, there's quite a lot of like probably really simple issues for you, but that we could work on, like, just to keep ourselves busy with stuff to do and to help like get to know the code base, and then like work on more and
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, I still don't have a commit today, so I need like 2 commits.
Yeah, I mean there's that slot that I was talking about, that we could work together instead of working on the React front end. We could work on this and maybe let the project manager get a little bit caught up on
Yeah.
I love that idea. That's a good idea. But
Yeah?
that's a separate conversation.
Oh yeah,
And
sorry.
maybe you should take it up with the project manager.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, this is the Human Connection project.
Yep. No, but yeah, totally. Like I'm available to pair if you want to pair, Joseph. And like I know you said you're trying to get at least 5 commits per day, so sensibly we should be doing more live share and having you like commit stuff as well, not just having me commit and you guiding me through the process.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. So I gotta head to the Met Plus meeting, but thanks, guys.
So you
Everyone.
said which Neo4j are up for grab? Which tickets? I can't. Is it backend or front end?
Well, there's the last link I shared in the chat is like to the Human Connections /projects /10, and that takes you to like the there's like to-dos. There's 9 tickets in the to-do that are to do with lots of different ones. There's ones for the web. There's ones for the back end, and there's lots of ones for the web basically that that are all that these are all good first issues. So. I mean, I'm happy to work on that, the other one as well. That I haven't reached out to Greg yet, but that other one to do with like writing Cypress tests. If you whatever you prefer, really.
All right, cool.
There's like a Docker one that I want to work on as well, but I think I'll try to work on that with Cowstep, unless anyways.
Okay, I'll check out what the build is filling, and then I'll see you soon.
Yeah, I mean, if you feel free to pick something and let me know, and I'll join you. And
Bye.
Cool.
All right.
And just post a link in case anyone else wants to join.
yes,
Like
of course.
maybe Toby wants to join.
Yeah. Toby, what time zone are you joining us from?
The Hangouts.
CET.
Okay.
Normal.
So, it's not so late there. I mean, we were talking about maybe meeting up in like 45 minutes to an hour, something like that, I think is what we're kind of talking about.
Yeah. Post the link and I will join you.
Cool. Awesome.
All right, guys. Sounds good.
All right then.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Toby. Thank you, Joseph. Bye.
All right. Bye.